Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny director blames the fans for the movie failing, like what
Hmm.
always happens. I'm surprised because he's kept his mouth shut, actually, for a pretty long time. This is a huge box office failure for Disney, like a massive failure financially, huge, hundreds of millions of dollars that they would have lost. Not a small amount. And he comes out and he says this: "You have a wonderful, brilliant actor who's in his 80s. So I'm making a movie about this guy in his 80s. But his audience, on one other level, doesn't want to confront their hero at that age." And I'm like, I'm good with it. We made the movie, but the question is, how would anything have made the audience happy with that, other than having to start over again with a new guy? And then here come lifelong heroes from my childhood into my life going, we have something for you to work on. It was a joyous experience, but it hurt in the sense that I really love Harrison. And I wanted audiences to love him as he was and to accept that that's part of what the movie has to say. That things come to an end. That's part of life. It's your fault. Your, your fault. You watched the movie, you didn't like it. What else could you have wanted? Completely different movie. Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. How about a movie that didn't cancel everything that the previous movie had done? So therefore, very creatively bankrupt because you undid everything at the start of your new movie that the previous movie had ended on. So that whole character arc, null and void. You undid everything to then only end up the main character in exactly the same position at the end of that film that the previous film had ended in. That's retarded. That's narratively stupid. You undo everything the previous movie had done at the start of this new one to only end in the exact same position at the previous movie. That's dumb. Your character's not progressed anywhere. It's the same character arc. It's the same end. So stupid. Maybe don't have Phoebe Waller dipshit face come in and do all the things. It's all well and good saying, we're going to have this guy, he's confronting his age. Okay. Does he have to confront his age with a woman doing everything for him?
Hmm.
An obnoxious bitch? A feminist hoe? Does that have to be the case? No, it doesn't. How about you have Short Round come in? And he's like, hey, Dr. Jones, we need one last mission. Indy, one last mission, right? Terrible impression. But just imagine, right? So they go on one last mission. And it's on that last mission he realizes he can't do the things he once did. And his friend helps him through it. A story of age and friendship
Friendship.
triumphing.
Yeah.
There you go. I've made a better movie.
I think Disney just wanted to prove that they could pay the third most expensive price for a film and lose $300 million.
There's any number of ways they could have gone with it that wasn't just really, really annoying and obnoxious, and a kick in the teeth, a spit in the face of the can and the fandom, right? You could have just had Indy as really old and play the character that way, and don't try and make him still an action dude in some way, and all the problems that come with that. Either just he's old now,
Yeah.
right? Or what's best, what PM just said in the chat, don't do it at all. Leave the thing alone. Leave the Indiana Jones thing alone. Make something else. Make something new and original. Why are you trying? Why are you forcing Harrison Ford to do this? Yeah, and Water Bridge is not a good writer. She's just not. It's terrible. I hate her.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody wants to see Waller Bridge emasculating another beloved childhood hero for 2.5 hours. He's totally emasculated. The green screen work was terrible in the movie. The reviews is what killed this. And for Mangold to blame the dogs for not liking the dog food, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, it's how arrogant and out of touch and smug you have to be to try to blame everybody but the people who decided this was a great idea for a movie.
Well,
Made it.
what I think you'll be impressed by is that this managed to spend 15 more million dollars than most of the other very expensive VFX films. This spent $79 million on VFX alone.
Well, there's some money laundering going on in Hollywood. I think that's got to be exposed sooner or later. But the movie was wretched. They should have stopped trying to put Harrison Ford in the role, just like Bo said, maybe after Crystal Skull, which was already not a very good film and a bad idea. But, bring on somebody new. Mangold says it right there in his quote. What'd you want us to do? Bring in a new person? If you're going to do Indiana Jones, then get a guy who's not 80-something and let's go have some adventures. I certainly don't want to see my peepaw getting worked over by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and knocked out at the end with some goofy time travel BS. It was awful from the beginning. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of fan service in it. And John Williams, always dependable with the music. And that's where it ended. It's lost its luster.
We talked before, didn't we, about who is this film for?
Mm.
And I feel like, maybe I'm going a bit over the top of this, but I feel like this is a film for the sort of the Waller-Bridge type woman that resents how much her husband loves the old Indiana Jones films. Right?
I think you nailed it. Yeah.
I don't know if any of you ever had been in a relationship where your girlfriend hates something that you really love, and so she just spoils it for you.
Yeah,
like you're really into F1, so you wait until the evening to watch it, and she spoils the result for you, just out of spite. Right? I feel like that's what this is. It's like, it's really annoying that like the blokes I grew up with, or my boyfriend or my husband, really, really loves The Last Crusade. Loves it so much that it just pisses me off. So I'm going to ruin it. I'm just going to stamp and smush crap into it now. Then,
right? Yeah, it's like they were trying to correct everything that they thought was wrong with the original trilogy. Let's just take away all these fun, beloved, treasured heroes that these men have grown up admiring. I would have been fine without any new Indiana Jones movies, or I would have been fine if Harrison Ford had made 3 more back when he was in his 50s and 60s.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like the problem is that, adults learn from their failures, right? Adults, rejection is that tool that should teach you to change things, moderate, grow. And Kathleen Kennedy and her ilk are not learning and growing over there at Disney. It seems unfortunate. So good luck, Mr. Mangold, with your Star Wars movie. I'll wait on the first weekend reviews before I invest in that.
What do you reckon, Culture? You've not said anything about this.
I don't like James Mangold. He's a consummate liar. He throttled some of my friends with lies about no reshoots and other things.
I remember that. Yep.
I'm pretty pissed. And I think he's I think he's got a few good movies out there, but the problem is he's started to devolve into a deconstructionist filmmaker. And I think that's what we'll get out of whatever else he makes in the future. That's a real shame, because his highest praise came from, well, of course, Ford versus Ferrari, but most particularly from Logan.
Yeah.
And Logan is another deconstruction story. It's just better done with better writing.
I tell you, Ford versus Ferrari is better than Logan. That is
I agree with you.
Film.
I agree with you, but
immense film.
But then he follows it up with, let's destroy Indiana Jones. Like you said, I in my video I said about this. I said specifically, I'm like, it's really easy to make this indie movie. He's older. He just has to be more clever. He has to apply more logic and reason. He should have been teaching somebody something instead of being read around.
Pass the baton to Short Round.
I would have said it would have been perfect, and everybody likes him, right?
Or his son. Yeah. I mean, whatever, something. Yeah.
I think that would have been a lot of fun too, right? I mean, and everybody. Did you realize the tremendous amount of support it would have got with Kui Kwan?
Yeah,
a ton. You know, so I look at these things and then I think, what would Nick say? Because I've always wanted to know what Nick would say
I was
about
going to bring
this.
him on. You always hang a lantern on it, and I try to bring people on without the fanfare, so it works nicely and with a bit. But you just always fucking do it, ruin it.
Hey,
Nick, what do you reckon about?
I appreciate the fanfare.
There we go.
What do you reckon about these?
Oh
these
God,
comments
James
from
Mangold.
Mangold?
Yeah. What Culture was saying. I remember when all that stuff was going on with the reshoots and stuff. It's like, you know, as a filmmaker, you know, you should have saw all this stuff being issues from the get go, and the fact that you didn't and were complacent with it and just kept doing it. Look, most, you know, we keep hearing about all these directors, writers, actors, all these people that are leaving Lucasfilm projects for creative differences, you know, because they sit there and see that it's a giant turd and they don't want to be a part of it. And they're like, no, that's not working. He's complacent with it and just keeps rolling with it, you know. So screw James Mangold. It's never the fans' fault. It's always the people at the top who's involved that makes the decisions on the project. You know, and then of course the actors can you know, either bring the temperature level of the backlash up or down with their comments. You know, but yeah, screw James Mangold. He'll never get that Star Wars project that he's apparently supposed to be working on. It's never going to happen. It's just a complete disaster over there at Lucasfilm. I like the idea of him running into Short Round later on in life. I think there was actually a leaked script on that, wasn't there? Where he was actually going to be involved.
There was concept art. There wasn't a script. I don't think there was concept art that came out. Which was great. It was really, really good.
But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there's only 3 Indiana Jones films, the first 3, and those are the only 3 I'll ever recognize. You know, and you know, Spielberg and Lucas were involved in that disaster of Crystal Skull. They should have known better at the time. You know, but it is what it is. You know, Indiana
Did anyone
Jones is
ever
dead.
see the? I completely agree with Nick. There's only 3 indie films.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the South Park episode when Crystal Skull came out? And they're saying that
that was hilarious.
Raped my childhood.
They're actually raping Indy.
Yeah. South Park will hit it on the head every single time.
Yeah, they are good.
National
we've got some super chats about this. So Take a 610 says Alden Ehrenreich should just be indie now too. Yeah, he'd make a good indie, mainly because he can do a good Harrison Ford impression, I guess. But yeah. Evil Incarnate says, so I heard the original reason Indiana was invented is because they wanted an American version of Bond. So going off that idea, I love Harrison, but recast like Bond instead of working around his age. There's no reason why they can't just recast. Like there's just not. Like
there was talk about Chris Pratt taking over the role in a new.
I like that idea.
Yeah, me too. And Evil Incarnate's correct. I think Lucas, one of the two, either Spielberg or Lucas, wanted to do sort of a Ian Fleming style spy caper, and the other one wanted to do some sort of serial adventure, and this is what they came up with.
Yeah, it's bloody good.
Yeah,
Indiana Jones, great.
They don't make them like that anymore.
I love Temple of Doom. Monkey
too. Yeah, it's underrated.
Yes, I agree.
Right, okay, cool. Let's move on from this.